What's up, guys? Welcome to the 39th episode of the Trackside Girls podcast, season 2. Um, so F1 race in Vegas this past weekend. We also had the NASCAR awards. Basically, they're closing their season ending. They do a big it's an awards event. They use it to celebrate the champions of the season, as well as that's when they hand out the most popular driver award, which we will get to that in a second. But what's going to take longest is going to be the F1 recap, so we're going to do that real quick. They were in Vegas. Mercedes, where in the world did they come from this weekend? Like, it was insane. It was very slippery for the first day because the track was very green, and there had been no rubber laid down on it. It was still, cars were being, like, everyday cars, street cars were on this track, like, literally hours prior to this. But it was ultimately Lewis Hamilton fastest in the session, George Russell second, and Lando Norris third. For free practice 2, again, very slippery session. Red flag, because Alex Albon came to a stop on the side of the track for a fuel system issue. But again, it was Lewis Hamilton fastest, Lando Norris second, and George Russell third. As for free practice 3, it was a new day. So there was a possibility. We don't know if everybody's playing it off as Red Bull didn't bring the right wing to Vegas. But it's just more of they didn't create a wing for this type of track. So what they had to end up doing to fix it was they literally drilled into the carbon fiber on the wing and cut out some of it to reduce drag. So it had a weird shape that they created, and it helped because it made their car much better than it was the day before. But in free practice 3, the results were George Russell fastest, Oscar Piastri second, and Carlos Sainz third. As for qualifying, the out in Q1, Lance Stroll, Valtteri Bottas, Alex Albon, Fernando Alonso, and Checo Perez. Out in Q2 was Liam Lawson, Franco Colapinto, Zhou Guanyu, Kevin Magnussen, and Esteban Ocon. So towards
Franco crash it in qualifying or practice?
It was qualifying. It was during Q2. I think they had about 6 minutes left. It was either 6 or 3 minutes left. It was a very short amount of time. So he clipped the wall in a left turn, and it sent him across the way into an immovable concrete wall, which it moved the barriers because there's a gap there. That's why they leave the gap, just so it can be moved, so he's not in a solid wall. And you could tell, like, they did the overhead view, and where he hit the wall was pushed multiple feet back from where it was supposed to be. He slid, honestly, probably 200 yards further after he hit the wall. And he actually hit the wall at over 50 Gs. And if you don't know what that is, like, like, one G is like basically with 50 being hit with 50 Gs of force is 50 times your body weight. So say he's I don't know the like conversion between kilograms and pounds, but let's just roughly say, I don't know, he's like 160. We'll just say that. Franco's a fairly like thin guy. So you multiply 160 times 50 for the 50 Gs that he hit. That's 8,000 pounds of pressure that he's being hit by hitting that wall. He got checked out. They made a thing. They posted that he had been evaluated and checked, been signed off to race the next day. What we didn't know that came out, actually I think it was today, that Williams withheld information about his health to the professionals. Meaning the professionals signed off for him to race in the Grand Prix without knowing that he had a concussion. So he raced the Vegas Grand Prix concussed. And you're supposed to take like at least 3 days away from straining activities, just so you do not reconcuss yourself. So I don't know that if F1.
What would have happened if he would have gotten in another accident during the race?
If he was concussed a second time within that short amount of time, it could have long-lasting, lifelong, like, consequences on his health that he will not be able to get rid of. Like, racing is dangerous. Yes, I always say it's an entertainment sport, but racing is dangerous. Just like getting into a regular car crash on the street. Yeah, you're not necessarily going as fast, really, ever. At least I hope not. Because you'd end up a lot worse. But you're still driving. It's still a car crash. Like, yes, they have tried to build these cars as sturdy as possible, as safe as possible, but that does not matter. You can still be injured in one of these race cars.
And also that Williams is still talking about Logan, too.
I heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
How are you gonna let him go? And like, that was August or September, sweetheart.
The way that I feel is that they can keep Logan's name out of their mouth because Logan's doing better and bigger things now.
Like,
for himself.
Like, this is the quote. This is what they said. That's what we represent as a sport. With Logan, I wanted to make sure we gave him every opportunity to grow. But at some point, we have to make sure that as a business that we are doing the correct set of decisions to allow for a long-term growth over a single individual.
So even before the season started, James Vowles started talking about wanting to replace Logan.
Literally.
And you guys wanted to talk about trying to give him the best opportunities? You're on some crack cocaine.
And they still
fight
are
them.
going to put a driver in danger by allowing him to drive in a concussion.
Williams used to be one of like the teams that I would pull for. After the things that have transpired over the past year, I no longer want to associate myself with Williams.
Bruh, Williams is on crack. Keep Logan's name out of your mouth. You kicked him out, so
I'm sure it's not
out of the mouth.
I'm sure it's not the entirety of Williams, but the one that is mainly being vocal about it is James Vowles. He is the one that was talking down on Logan before he got kicked out of the seat. He is the one that was constantly praising Carlos Sainz about wanting him. I'm sure it was his decision to put Franco back in the seat after his injury. I don't know if F1 was aware of this. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt because I have not read anything that they were involved in this. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, saying that it is possible that they were unaware that.
Yeah, because from the interviews I saw with Franco, he said I wasn't allowed to talk to anyone.
Yeah. So
about anything.
I'm going to assume that it was an internal Williams conversation to keep it quiet that Franco was still concussed. Which means F1 needs to put a fine on it. Put a hefty fine on it. Make the penalty so difficult that if they let their driver drive while still injured, unless if you go back to Lance Stroll and his wrists that he got fixed in 3 days, that he had a really good surgeon, and that he himself, Lance, decided that he wanted to be back in the car for that. So that's a little different. But if you're gonna have a driver talk in an interview after the race saying that he was not allowed to say anything, do you know how bad that makes a team look? Do you know how bad it makes the sport look?
Yeah.
You're on crack. But yeah, but that was his accident happened in Q2 of qualifying. But it was George Russell to get pole for Vegas. The big thing going into this race, Lando had to finish above Max to keep his championship hopes alive. Max qualified 5th, Lando qualified 6th. So they were right beside each other on the grid. So it was going to be a battle to the finish for them. As for the race, Lando got fastest lap. Driver of the day was Lewis Hamilton, who came in 2nd. George Russell ended up winning this race with Carlos Sainz in 3rd. But Max Verstappen did finish above Lando Norris, meaning Max Verstappen is now a 4-time world champion. So And with Carlos Sainz finishing third and Charles Leclerc finishing fourth, they are chipping away at McLaren's lead on the constructors. And there was also controversy. Charles was very, very, very upset about Carlos was told not to pass Charles. And apparently Carlos did it anyway. And it is very clear on the radio that Charles was not happy about this situation. Engine blew up, right?
Wasn't it engine?
Yeah. So Pierre, his engine expired. And then Alex, what happened to Alex? So Alex retired from the race due to technical gremlins on his own. But yes, even though Max did not win, because he finished above Lando, he got his 4th World Championship, and the interviews are actually really funny. Because if you watch them, he is just slowly getting more drunk in the videos. He even said in one of them, somebody asked what was in his cup that he was holding, and he goes, "Oh, it's gin and tonic." His signature drink. And he made a comment. He was talking to Zach Brown, and Max kind of shut him down and was like, "Oh, you said before that I could only win the championship in the fastest car. Not anymore." But that was the Vegas weekend. Now let's get into
I
this.
saw an interview with Lando, and somebody asked, like, what would you do differently or change? He's like, I changed the whole car.
I did see that.
And everybody's like, since there's no championship anymore, we get Sassy Lando back. I've been seeing people say that. We're going to get Sassy Lando back.
So our what's in the group chat section of this podcast. Ty Majeski got the Goodyear Bronze Truck Award. Tricon posted a video with Corey Haim that was that trend that it says something and then they flip the camera and then it's like, oh my god, I did not mean to do that type thing. The caption says the 98 didn't even win the most races. Corey Haim did, or something like that. And he flips the camera and it's Corey.
That was so funny.
The way that I cackled at that, like, I was laughing in the car because it was too funny.
So new LEGO Speed Champions come out in 2025. Looks like Formula One is getting every single car on the grid. Releasing March 1st. And the price looks like it's going to be $26.99 per set. So Prima announced their IndyCar lineup, which I think we may have already announced this, but Robert Schwartzman is going to be in the 83, and the Callum Ilott in the 90. Jeremy Bullins is going to be leaving the Penske house. I say Penske house because technically Wood Brothers cars are built at Penske, and he was on the Wood Brothers team, but he is moving to lead Brad Keselowski, the number 6, for 2025. He's going to be the crew chief over there. So rumors are that Zane should be going to front row, even if it could be part-time. So we'll see. We'll see if he ends up. We still don't know where exactly he's going, so hopefully we'll find out soon. NASCAR and Flow Sports have extended their deal for live streaming on all modified ARCA East/West races and other regional/weekly series events. Justin Allgaier won the Sunoco Racing Diamond Performance Award in NASCAR Xfinity Series. There is a rumor that Parker Retzloff could be going to Alpha Prime. Joe Gibbs Racing has promoted Chris Gabehart to competition director, and Chris Gale will become the crew chief for Denny Hamlin in the 11 team. The 45 team crew chief will be announced later. This was news to Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin was not aware that his crew chief was going to be moving up the ranks. So he was kind of not happy about that because he's ran so many races with Chris Gabehart and won so many races. He was not a part of that conversation about Chris Gabehart moving up to competition director. So people think that Rick Ware Racing spoiled their driver announcement due to the NASCAR website, it looks like, under Rick Ware Racing, and it's talking about Corey LaJoie being full-time. So...
I saw another one, and they posted it, and I'm like, nah. Because they posted one, and then there was another one. I'm like, there's no way that's real. It has to be fake. Because the other one was... I don't remember what the other one was. Oh, it was Ryan Preece going to RFK, and everybody was like, everybody already knows this.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll find out soon if that's who they decide to keep. But Roto-Rooter has looks like it has come on to be a sponsor for Michael McDowell at Spire. Martin Truex Jr. has confirmed that his Daytona 500 ride will not be with 2311. He said that he was told that JGR was going to try and do it, trying to run that car for him. So apparently teams can run a fourth team if it's an open team in the new charter system. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think any team has 4 cars now. I think Stuart Haas was the only one, right?
Joe Gibbs and Hendricks.
Oh crap. They really there's no way that they're gonna
Joe Gibbs and Hendricks are the only two teams that only have 4 cars.
Mm-hmm.
I know that it's like it's a new deal. That's what I was about to say. That's what I was about to say. I'm pretty sure they're going to be grandfathered into that because they've been teams so long and ran 4 cars for so many years.
Yeah, something like that.
There are more updates with the 2311 front row whole ordeal if you want to go check those out. The most popular driver awards. This is what yeah.
You know, I like the trucks. I like the Xfinity. I didn't like the Cup.
I don't see how. Which actually, so let me go ahead and state who they are. For Xfinity, we knew this was gonna happen because he deserves it. Justin Allgaier, most popular driver in the Xfinity series.
Yes.
Most popular driver in the truck series, Raja Karuth. I feel like that fits. He is very interactive. He is very entertaining. He's a good race car driver, all
You
around.
know, he may not have won a lot, but Raja actually really did deserve that.
Yeah.
Because he actually does talk to people all the time.
As for the Cup Series most popular driver,
this was
for
the
a
rigged
7th consecutive season, Chase Elliott.
So rigged.
And then
In case you guys haven't figured it out, we could care less about Chase Elliott. We don't stand him. Used to, not no more.
They claim that Kyle Larson came second and then Ryan Blaney came third. So recently on my TikTok, I have been posting all of my driver interactions over the past couple seasons. And I posted a video of Chase Elliott. Everybody in the comments are finally seeing the way that Chase Elliott interacts with people. And everybody's like, why is he so bland? How is he most popular driver? And I'm like, you're not wrong. Like, don't get me wrong.
Do you
like,
want me to tell, do I need to tell my 7 different stories about him?
Right? How many times he's dodged you when you're trying to get his autograph and wearing his merchandise?
Bro, literally, I have a whole list on my phone. Like, I need to apparently go tell all these Chase Elliott fans, hey, he's literally not worth your time at all.
I mean, I got like 2 videos to prove it from him dodging.
Yeah. Sid also has it too, from Atlanta.
Yeah.
There's like 3 videos of him looking at me, and then he's like, no.
The real one was that Kansas one, where he literally just walked by you and signed the person right next to you.
That was the end. That was when I knew that was the end of Chase Elliott for me.
Like,
and it was all about Harrison.
Don't get me wrong. Like, if you catch him when he's alone, or it's an official signing, like, he acts different.
And he was walking by himself. Like, he didn't have anybody.
Exactly. No, I'm talking about if he's alone. I'm talking about if there is no other fans around. Like, if there is more than like 3 or 4 people trying to get his autograph, like, he's a completely different person. If you were alone, like, trying to get his autograph and you're catching him, like, he's a completely different person.
I don't know what that's like.
Like, the one of the interactions that I had with him was at Talladega a couple years ago, and I saw him walking through the garage. He was alone. I think maybe his PR was around, but no other fans were around the garage at this moment. So as soon as I saw him, I'm gonna take that chance trying to catch him, okay? Because nobody else was running after him. So I went down there. I caught him. He comes right up to me. Perfectly fine, right? Didn't even have to call out his name. He literally looked directly at me and came up to me. And so I go, and I'm like, you were one of the hardest people to catch. He stopped and paused. He looks around. He goes, well, I guess not today.
What do you want, a gold star?
And I'm like, that's so mean.
Okay. And then when you were trying to get his autograph there at Kansas, and you literally only had the picture of you and him, and then the kid next to you just had the sign. I know you were wearing a Harrison shirt, but the kid next to you was wearing a Kyle Busch shirt.
Yeah.
Guys, if people aren't realizing that Chase Elliott is not the bees, like, all that in a bag of chips like everybody thinks that he is, bro, let me tell them my 7 times that he has blatantly looked at me and then ignored me. Hello, I have 3 video proofs. You have Molly has 2, Sid has 1. What more do you want? I mean, literally, at the second Kansas race, the man looked directly at me and completely ignored my entire line, and he went to the opposite side that I was on. Didn't even call his name, didn't even say anything. He looked straight at me and then walked to the other side to go sign things. What more do you want?
But
He's not the most popular driver. He never will be.
alright.
Because it's rigged.
So enough about Chase Elliott. Shaq was DJing at the after party of the NASCAR Awards. You had Justin Allgaier and Ty Majeski both get pictures with DJ Diesel, which I was actually at a hard rock party in Miami last year. It started raining, so I left because I had already met Daniel Ricciardo, so I literally that's all I went for. So I kind of missed seeing Shaq. But it's fine. It's fine. But yes, he was at the after party. There was a fight between Connor Jones and Mason Diaz. Was this at the South Carolina 400 or 500, whatever it was? So this was in the same race?
Yeah, not Fords.
Yeah, I made a comment saying, of course, it's Connor Jones. Which, don't make me wrong, I mean, he's a nice kid, like, if you meet him, like, in general. But, like, he loves wrecking people and fighting after he gets out of the race car. He's like, I think he's like 18 or something. He's really young.
I just know Flo was having a lot of technical difficulties because a lot of people were watching it at the same time. It was like the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight, like the Netflix deal. It was like that, and like I was watching, it was like commercial, and then you cut back to it, and it was like that big pile. It was like a big pile up, and they couldn't show a replay because they didn't have it because they were having a whole bunch of technical difficulties.
Rough. But Mr. Beast and Gordon Ramsay were both in the paddock at F1 Vegas, as well as Noah Gragson, Tony Breidinger, Kyle Busch. Like there was a lot of people, a lot of celebrities, a lot of personalities out at Vegas. So Tyler Ankrum, which this news I did not see because I have not checked the group chat today. Tyler Ankrum re-signed to be in the number 18 at is that BMR or M? What do they call it? Technically, it's MHR for him, but still, Bill McAnally posted it. And he is re-signed for 2025. Titan Risk Solutions is going to sponsor RCR in select Cup races and Xfinity races for Austin Dillon, Austin Hill, and Jesse Love. Spire hired Matt McCall, Spire competition staff hires Matt McCall went from RFK to Spire as director of vehicle performance. And Dax Geringer from Stuart Haas, number 4 team, goes to Spire as technical director. Their General Motors sent in a bid/application to join Formula One in 2026. What was the Trackhouse announcement?
I don't know. It was like that video in there. I don't really know what it was. Some people are like disappointed. It wasn't nothing major. But some people in the comments is like, so y'all still have Zayn? Because like in the end of it, it has Zayn's logo. And it goes through all the like everybody's logos, and it has Zayn's logo in there.
I mean, either it could be because technically Zane is a contracted driver for Trackhouse and was just on loan to Spire. So actually, if they're doing a full-time number 8 car or the 88 car for Shane, they could do an open car for Zane. They could still do that now that they kind of put the cap on 3 chartered cars. So, and then they're still allowed to run an open car if they wanted. So, I mean, they could definitely do that.
Because somebody commented, it's like, y'all gotta stop playing with us like this, man. We just want some actual news out of the house. And Trackhouse replied to it, it was good though, gotta admit it. And some people were thinking that it might have could have been Max because of all that what the Project 91 and then Trackhouse coming on Suarez's post.
That was last year.
Oh, that was last year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Project 91 posted that last year after Daniel was in Vegas and took that picture with Max. So that, yes, I mean, I have talked with Justin Marks and he is still pushing. He still really wants Max to come and do Project 91. But obviously,
somebody posted that yesterday. That's what I saw. So my bad.
Yeah, people are late on that. Listen, I don't play with my Max Verstappen, okay? But yes, that was from last year. That specific picture, Daniel posted after last Vegas race in 2023.
That's what people were excited about the Trackhouse announcement. They wanted to see if it was Max gonna be.
He's not allowed to do any of that stuff while he's still under contract with Red Bull.
Yeah.
Something cool that's gonna be happening earlier next week. I think next week. Let me make sure it is next week. Yes, earlier next week on Tuesday, is an event that I've been to for the past couple of years, but this time I'm going to be able to share it with a bigger platform, happening in Mooresville, North Carolina. The tickets have already been sold out, but hopefully you guys can hear more about this event a little later, and you'll be able to get on the list for next year. But the annual Stocks for Tots event is going on next week, which is where you get a whole bunch of drivers, old and new, to come out and sign autographs, and we even bring out a whole bunch of like older drivers, like Donnie Allison is going to be there this year, Jeremy Mayfield, Matt DiBenedetto, Joey Gaze is supposed to be there. Eric Jones is on the list. So like last year, I believe we had Noah Gragson stop by. Sam Hornish Jr. was there last year. Martin Truex has come to this event before. Ryan Newman is normally there every year. And Harrison Burton, Austin Cindric. They just get a bunch of people, a bunch of drivers. It's for a good cause. It's basically like a Toys for Tots, but they call it Stocks for Tots because they bring in a bunch of stock car drivers. And yeah, they just sit down, do autographs, they collect toys, and different things. This year, hurricane relief stuff. It's just overall a really good event. And hopefully, you guys will get to see more of that. Um, I am actually going to be working the event, not more so taking pictures and things like that, but also hopefully, you guys, you'll see something on the publication that I am involved with, the podium finish. We're trying to get something out. I'm trying to do something just to share that event with a larger audience. Even though it's been going on for I think 30 plus years. So they definitely have been going strong, but just to bring it to a bigger platform and show the people who are behind this event how much good they do for the community. And but yeah, it's put on by the North Carolina Auto Racing Hall of Fame in Mooresville, North Carolina. If you guys ever are in that area, please go check it out. There's a wonderful lady who runs that place. She's there. I think she's there almost all the time. But Sue, sweetest person on the planet. But you definitely get to see a lot of cool cars in the museum. They also have a bunch of cool older stuff for sale in their little lobby area. So just a little plug there for those guys, because they do a lot of stuff for the community of Mooresville. But actually, we gotta talk about next week or next weekend or this weekend, because there's another race for Formula One. It's a triple header. They go back to back to back, and they're in Qatar this weekend, right after being in Vegas. So that's a whole lot of time change. I think that's got to be over a 12-hour difference. But they're going to be in Qatar at Losail International Circuit. So we know Max has already gotten the championship. So really, it's really who's gunning for the Constructors' Championship. I'm hoping that McLaren sticks up there. I think it would just be cool for them to win a Constructors again after so long. But as for our winners and long shots of the is it Qatar Grand Prix? Is that what they call it? Yes. Oh, and it's a sprint. It's a sprint weekend. So we're doing both. We'll do winner and long shot for the sprint, and then winner and long shot for the race. For the Formula One Qatar Airways Qatar Grand Prix.
You're asking a lot from me. You're asking me to pick 4 different people.
I mean,
that's a lot of work.
You don't necessarily have to be different. That's totally up to you. I don't know. Losai's actually kind of strange shaped circuit. I'm gonna say George Russell's gonna be strong again. So I'll say George winner for the sprint. No.
I don't know. I'm gonna say Oscar and George. I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna say George. Well, Oscar and George.
Okay. I'll do George and cars that are... I'm gonna go Carlos. George and Carlos for the sprint.
Mm-hmm. Gosh.
Other note, it's Coach Gibbs' birthday today.
Oh, the day that we're filming this?
Yep.
The 25th of November. Alright.
I'll do Lando as my winner in sprint. And I'll do Lewis as my long shot.
Okay. For the race, I'm gonna say Charles. Hopefully.
I was also thinking Charles.
And a Lando.
Okay, well, those are like my go-to people, is Charles and Lando every single time.
I was just thinking who's got fast cars.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, if Alpine can pull it out again, like, bro. But that was also a race in the rain, so.
That was insane, actually, that they did that.
So, I 100% would not guess that they could do that in the dry, for sure. But.
Nah.
I think their best shot was because it was raining.
I'm gonna go a double McLaren. I want to go Lando as my winner and Oscar as my long shot.
Okay. It would definitely guarantee their constructors for sure. That would help a lot.
It would.
Alright, Lakota. That's all you.
All me. I'm gonna say... This is so hard. I'm gonna go Lando and Lewis.
Alright.
We'll go for the double L's.
So, I'm gonna do something a little different for the outro of this episode. It's the same. We're still doing our same outro, but I'm choosing something different for my object that goes across the screen.
Interesting.
You guys are gonna find out what it is. You guys probably, if you watched closely enough, you probably saw me pull it off the shelf. So.
Nah, because you actually ended up freezing, so.
Oh, well, I was talking about the viewers.
That is true.
So, okay. And of course, I had to wear my Max Verstappen jersey, so it's very fitting. And it's also orange, even though like orange is the like more Dutch color, Max's color, but it's also looks McLaren. So, but you guys got anything else? No? All right. So, let's do this outro. It goes peace, love, and you guys ready? And race cars.
I'm gonna go the opposite way because mine's going backwards. From the way that the box is.
Did you see it?
Oh my god. It's okay. I used Lando, so.
But like, it's so fitting. He just won the championship, so get him in his little car, and you know.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. All right. Good night, everybody.